Once upon a time in a faraway land, there lived a beautiful girl called Daisy. Daisy's family was very poor, and so their house was very small, and their clothes were torn. Although Daisy had long blonde hair and sparkling blue eyes, her hair was always tied back in a bun on her head, and her eyes were always smudged with dirt. To try to help support her parents, Daisy worked as a maid for the royal family. There were 4 members in the family: the king and the queen, along with their 2 children, Prince Lucas and Princess Laverna. The princess was the same age as Daisy, and the prince was a couple of years older. The king, the queen, and the prince were very busy people. They were always traveling around to carry out royal duties, leaving Princess Laverna in charge of the royal palace. Each morning, Daisy would arrive at the palace, ready to get to work. Princess Laverna hated Daisy. She was so jealous of the girl's stunning beauty and would do everything she could to give Daisy the dirtiest jobs around the palace. "Go and clean the toilet, dreadful Daisy," Princess Laverna would order. "And then sweep the chimney, and then do all of the dusting, and then clean all of the floors and carpets by hand." Daisy would quietly say, "Yes, Princess Laverna, right away," and get to work. When Prince Lucas was around, Princess Laverna wasn't quite so bad. The prince liked Daisy and would stand up for her, saying,
The chimney doesn't need to be swept today, Laverna. Why doesn't Daisy spend some time outside in the sunshine picking some flowers for the palace instead?
The prince always suggested fun jobs for Daisy to do. Unfortunately, the prince wasn't around very often. One morning, when Daisy arrived at the palace, she could hear Princess Laverna upstairs. The princess was shouting and she sounded very angry. Daisy went to see what was wrong. "What's the matter, Princess Laverna?" Daisy asked. "It's this stupid musical jewellery box," said Princess Laverna, holding a beautifully carved wooden box in her hand. "Look, there's a key here, and each time the key is turned, the box is meant to play music, but it doesn't work." The princess threw the box on the carpet by Daisy's feet. "I don't want that stupid thing in here," the princess said. "Throw it away and then go and scrub the floors." "Yes, Princess Laverna, right away," Daisy replied. That evening after work, Daisy returned home. Rather than throwing the musical box away, she brought it home. "This is a beautiful box," she said to herself. "I don't have any jewellery or treasures to store inside it, but it will look so pretty in my bedroom." She entered her tiny bedroom, and before placing the box up onto a shelf, she said, "Let me try turning the key first. I wonder if it will work." Daisy turned the key in the box, and all of a sudden the top of the box popped open and the most beautiful tune that Daisy had ever heard started playing. She listened in delight. Then, when the music stopped, a gold coin appeared in the box. "Wow!" gasped Daisy. "This is enough gold to buy food for myself and my parents for tonight. Finally, we don't have to go to bed hungry." The girl rushed out to the nearby market and bought some vegetables to cook a tasty meal for her parents. Daisy couldn't believe her good luck. Every evening when she returned home from the palace, she would turn the key, listen to the music, take her gold coin, and buy food for her family. All of this good food was making Daisy even more beautiful each day, and Princess Laverna was getting more and more jealous. One afternoon, Daisy was at the palace working in the gardens. She heard a rustling sound in a nearby bush and went to see what the noise was. She saw a scared young boy. "Who are you and what are you doing in there?" asked Daisy in surprise.
I'm just a poor boy from the village,
The boy replied.
I came here to look for some food. I haven't eaten in 3 days.
"Oh, you poor thing," gasped Daisy. "Wait here. I know how to help." Daisy rushed home to her bedroom, picked up the box, and then ran back to the palace. When she found the bush with the little boy in it, she showed him the box. "Watch this," she said to the boy as she turned the key. Just as usual, the music started to play. Princess Laverna was in her bedroom at the time, and when the music played, she heard the beautiful tune. She dropped her brush and ran to the window, peering out and seeing Daisy with the little boy. From her window above, the princess saw the ballerina in the box twirl and then watched as a gold coin magically appeared. The princess couldn't believe her eyes.
Wow!
Said the boy, his eyes wide with surprise when he saw the coin. Here, take the gold coin, said Daisy, placing the gold coin into the boy's hand and then hiding the box in the bush. This should buy you enough food for quite a few days. When you need some more, just come and find me.
Thank you,
Cried the boy in delight, before running off towards the market. Suddenly, Daisy heard a voice behind her shouting, Come here right now, you ugly lazy girl! Daisy turned and saw Princess Laverna. Daisy walked towards her, noticing that the princess was carrying a bucket of coal dust in her hand. She followed the princess into the kitchen where the floors were glistening from being cleaned by Daisy just that morning. Go and stand in the middle of the kitchen, the princess ordered. Yes, Princess Laverna, right away, Daisy replied. She went to stand in the middle of the kitchen. Before she realized what was happening, the princess threw the bucket of coal dust at Daisy and then ran out of the room. A big cloud of black dust filled the entire kitchen, coating every single surface. Clean it all up right now, the princess shouted. Tears sprang to Daisy's eyes, but the girl started to clean. While Daisy was cleaning, Princess Laverna went to find the musical jewelry box hidden in the bush. She immediately turned the key, waiting for the music to play. The box stayed quiet, but what the princess didn't know was that when she had turned the key, her nose had grown longer. The princess scowled, turning the key again. This time, her ears grew bigger. Why isn't the music playing and the gold coin appearing? Shouted the princess, without noticing all of the changes. The princess grew angrier and turned the key 3 more times. On the first turn, her blonde hair turned into a witchy shade of grey. On the second turn, she lost some of her height, becoming shorter. On the third turn, her body puffed up and turned fat. The princess became completely unrecognizable. Just as the princess was about to turn the key again, she noticed that she was so much fatter. Oh no! She gasped. What's happening to me? Before she had the chance to take a look in the mirror, she heard the royal horses making their way up the palace drive, pulling the grand royal carriages behind them. They entered the castle. Princess Laverna threw the box at the castle wall as hard as she could, hoping it would break. She ran over to her family and cried, Mother! Father! Lucas! I'm so glad you're back! The 3 of them looked over at the princess in surprise.
Who are you? Why are you in my palace?
The king shouted in his loud voice. It's me! Shrieked the princess. Your daughter!
You're no daughter of mine.
The king roared.
Your nose is as long as a sausage, and your ears are as big as saucers. You are short, fat, and your hair is grey. You must be a witch.
No, father, sobbed the princess. It's me, Laverna.
Get away from my palace right now.
The king ordered in anger. He turned to his guards and shouted,
Take her away and make sure that she never returns.
2 guards stepped forward, took hold of the princess, and quickly marched her away. As Daisy reached out for the musical jewelry box, she realized it wasn't there. Early the next morning, Prince Lucas decided to take a stroll in the palace. As he did so, he noticed a small wooden box. He walked over and picked it up, running his hand over it.
I wonder what will happen when I turn the key,
the prince said, before giving the key a turn. The box opened. The music played.
This must belong to my sister, Laverna,
the prince said.
She's such a spoiled, selfish girl. She never takes care of her belongings. I will take this beautiful box back to her room.
Just as the prince was about to close the box, 2 folded up pieces of paper, along with a gold ring, appeared within it. The prince reached in and picked everything up. He unfolded the first piece of paper and saw a map with a gold star placed over a small house. He then unfolded the second piece of paper and read it out loud.
Follow the map and all of your dreams will come true.
Without thinking twice, the prince dropped the ring into his pocket and set off to follow the map. He navigated his way through the twisty and curvy streets of the town before reaching a small house. He knocked on the front door twice. After a few seconds, when the door opened, Daisy was standing there. "Prince Lucas!" Daisy gasped. "What are you doing at my house?"
I found this box and it told me to come here.
The prince replied, holding up the musical jewelry box. "You found my box!" Daisy cried out in happiness, reaching out for it. "My parents and I will be able to afford to buy food again. Oh, thank you so much, Prince Lucas." Prince Lucas smiled when he saw how happy Daisy was. She was even more beautiful than ever when she smiled, and he knew that she had such a kind and generous heart. The prince took the ring out of his pocket.
Beautiful Daisy,
He said.
marry me and be my wife. I will look after you and your parents for the rest of our lives, and you will never go hungry again. I will share all of my royal riches with you, and promise to love you more than any other man ever could.
A huge smile appeared on Daisy's face. "Yes, of course," she answered in happiness. The two of them hugged as the musical jewelry box played its tune in the background. A month later, Prince Lucas and Daisy were married at the royal palace, and the two of them lived happily ever after.